From fairest creatures we desire increase, that thereby beauty's rose might never die. But as the riper should by time decease, his tender hire might bear his memory. But thou, contracted to thine own bright eyes, feedest thy light's flame with self-substantial fuel, making a famine where abundance lies. Thyself thy foe, to thy sweet self too cruel. Thou that art now the world's fresh ornament, and only herald to the gaudy spring, within thine own bud buryest thy content, and tender churl makest waste and niggarding. Pity the world, or else dost glutton be, to eat the world's due by the grave and thief. When 40 winters shall besiege thy brow, and dig deep trenches in thy beauty's field, thy youth's proud livery, so gazed on now, will be a tattered weed of small worth held, than being asked where all thy beauty lies, where all the treasure of thy lusty days, to say within thine own deep sunken eyes, were an all-eating shame and thriftless praise. How much more praise deserved thy beauty's use, if thou couldst answer this fair child of mine? Shall some I count and make my old excuse, that proving his beauty by succession thine, this were to be new made when thou art old, when and see thy blood warm when thou feelest it cold. 3. Look in thy glass and tell the face thou viewest, now is the time that face should form another, whose fresh repair if now thou not renewest, thou dost beguile the world, unbless some mother. For where is she so fair whose uneared womb disdains the tillage of thy husbandry? Or who is he so fond will be the tomb of his self-love to stop posterity? Thou art thy mother's glass, and she in thee calls back the lovely. Thou art thy mother's glass, and she in thee calls back the lovely April of her prime. So thou, through windows of thine age, shalt see, despite of wrinkles, this thy golden time. But if thou live remembered not to be, die single, and thine image dies with thee, and thine image dies with thee. 4. Unthrifty loveliness, why dost thou spend upon thyself thy beauty's legacy? Nature's bequeast gives nothing but doth lend, and being frank, she lends to those are free. Then, beauteous niggard, why dost thou abuse the bounteous largesse given thee to give? Profitless usurer, why dost thou use so great a sum of sums, yet canst not live? 4. having traffic with thyself alone. So great a sum of sums, yet canst not live. For having traffic with thyself alone, thou thyself, thy sweet self dost deceive. Then how, when nature calls thee to be gone, thy unused beauty must be tuned with thee, which used lives the executor to be. 5. Those hours that with gentle work did frame the lovely gaze where every eye doth dwell, will play the tyrants to the very same, and that unfair which fairly doth excel. For never resting time leads summer on to hideous winter, and confounds him there. Sap checked with frost and lusty leaves quite gone, beauty over, snowed and bareness everywhere. Then, were not summer's distillation left, a liquid prisoner pent in walls of glass, beauty's effect with beauty were bereaved, nor no remembrance what it was, but flowers distilled, though they with winter meet, lease but their show, their substance still lives sweet. 6. Then let not winter's ragged hand deface in thee thy summer ere thou be distilled. Make sweet some vial, treasure thou some place, with beauty's treasure ere it be self-killed, that use is not forbidden usury, which happies those that paid a willing loan. That's for thyself to breed another thee, or 10 times happier, be it 10 for 1. 10 times thyself, 10 times thyself were happier than thou art, if 10 of thine 10 times refigured thee. Then what could death do if thou shouldest depart, leaving thee living in posterity? Be not self-willed, for thou art much too fair to be death's conquest, and make worms thine hire. 7. Lo, in the orient, when the gracious light lifts up his burning head, each under eye doth homage to his new appearing sight, serving with looks his sacred majesty, and having climbed the steep up heavenly hill, resembling strong youth in his middle age, yet mortal looks adore his beauty still, attending on his golden pilgrimage. But when from highmost pitch with weary car, like feeble age, he relieveth from the day, the eyes, for duteous, now converted are from his low tract, and look another way. So thou thyself outgoing in thy noon, unlooked on diest, unless thou get a son. Je me fatigue.